let us begin by placing our awareness in the area of the heart and taking slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. And just sit with this. Just settle into your body as you take these slow, deep breaths. Visualize them flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. And just feel your body respond as you take these slow, deep breaths. And just settle into your body. Know that all is well, and the universe has your back. Allow these breaths to be gentle, flowing, and allow your body to be caressed by these breaths. It's almost like when you're breathing in, you're giving your heart a big hug. Just visualize these breaths coming into your heart, giving it a big hug, and as you release it, it's going out and giving everyone around you a big hug. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Just allow those breaths to be gentle, flowing with ease. And see if you can take these breaths as deep as you can without it being too strenuous on you. With each practice, you'll be able to take deeper and deeper breaths, which is a good thing. The deeper your breaths, the more oxygen you provide your body, the more your blood has to carry it to the rest of your cells. And that's a good thing. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, everyone. Happy Monday to all of you. And now it's time for the I Didn't Know That moment. Today, the topic was picked by one of our participants who asked, can I forgive myself? How can I forgive myself when I've done something that I didn't like? So really the question becomes, what happens when you forgive? And what happens when you don't forgive? You see, forgiveness is one of those things where it's a mechanism for you to allow yourself to stop punishing yourself. Because a lot of times when we feel we are not forgiving ourselves, we punish ourselves. I've done that. I'm sure many of you on this call have done that as well. So the idea about forgiveness is, it's not a question of can I forgive myself? It's a question of, am I willing to stop punishing myself for this? Now, if there's somebody outside of you that has been hurt or feels bad by your behavior or your actions, whether they were intended or not, the question then becomes, if you don't get their forgiveness, will you stop punishing yourself? And that's the question. A lot of times we don't consciously punish ourselves. We subconsciously punish ourselves. And we find out that until somebody else has released us by forgiving us, that we will continue to beat ourselves up by the way of our thoughts, by the way of our emotions, by the way of how we approach others. So the idea about forgiveness is not about a release of karma. It's all about, am I going to stop punishing myself? Now, let's ask, what is gained by punishing ourselves? Because if somebody doesn't forgive us, do we gain anything more by punishing ourselves? Are they any better off? Am I any better off? Well, obviously the answer is, punishing myself causes me to actually experience stress in my body. So not forgiving me, I experience stress in my body, which is essentially a way of punishing myself. And if I am relying on an external factor to release me from punishing myself, then I am relying on external factors to validate who I am. If in your heart you have reached out and sought remorse, that you say, you know, I did this, I didn't really mean to do it. However, in my heart, I'm clean. Then you can forgive yourself. And I would almost argue that you forgive yourself first before asking forgiveness of others. Because then it doesn't matter if they forgive you or not. Because if you turn that around, if you forgive yourself and you release yourself from having that punishment happen to you, you punishing yourself, and if you ask for forgiveness to the other person, that's all you can control. If that person does not forgive you, they're punishing themselves as well, because they're feeling bad and they're looking for an external thing to happen to you in order for them to feel better. And that actually is called revenge. So revenge is never good, and forgiveness for yourself is always better, even if the other person doesn't forgive you. And that essentially is the art of forgiveness, is there is no need to hold on to pain and suffering, because you are a human being, and being a human being, you are a child of God. And as a child of God, God will always forgive you. Because if you had children, would you not forgive them for anything? Would you keep punishing them? Of course not. And that's how the universe created us with a benevolent love. We are born from love. As a matter of fact, children are born out of love, an act of love. And so were you. And so you must carry this act of love for others, and especially for yourself. So the idea here is to forgive yourself. Always, always, always forgive yourself first, and then ask for forgiveness for somebody else. All right? I look forward to hearing your comments on this when we close off the 15 minutes. In the meantime, let us begin to step into our quick coherence technique. And at this point in time, we will do a quick coherence technique where we'll experience the emotions of gratitude, of appreciation, and those are all ways, all means through which forgiveness can happen for yourself. So you can always forgive yourself through the act of experiencing gratitude, compassion, and all that. So let us begin. Place awareness in the area of the heart. Take slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart. Breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Beautiful. And now begin to experience a regenerative emotion, such as compassion, care, appreciation, gratitude. And just draw this into your heart. And now as you take these breaths in, not only are you giving your heart a hug, but you're giving it love from the emotions that you are experiencing now. And this is a foundation for forgiving yourself. So give your heart that big hug and say, there, it's okay. And then have the courage to seek forgiveness from the others. But first we must forgive ourselves. And this is a mechanism through which we do that. As we place our awareness in the area of our hearts, taking those slow, deep breaths, visualizing these flowing in and out of our hearts, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than we normally would, and then inviting gratitude, appreciation, love, compassion, joy, and experiencing that, inviting that, and just fill our cells. Continue to take the slow, deep breaths. Visualize them flowing in and out of your heart. And then begin to forgive yourself. Begin to love yourself. And in this process, begin to forgive others. When you forgive yourself and you forgive others, the benefit is entirely yours. Slow, deep breaths. Visualize these flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. Continue to experience a feeling of love, appreciation, peace, gratitude, compassion. And just allow your body to heal through these emotions. Put a gentle smile on your face. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Thank you so much for participating this morning on this Monday morning espresso shot. If you have any questions, please do type those in. And if you have any topics that you would like me to tackle next week or the week after, please do so. Send me an email or type in the chat area now, and I will endeavor to put that together. So thank you for whoever suggested that I pick this topic. It's very timely, I'm sure. So this is now, we have time for Q&A for those who want to stick around and have any questions about anything. I'm happy to answer that. Just put the questions in the chat area. If not, then that's fine too. We can adjourn and come back next week. Joan has a comment. She says, I so agree with the forgiveness of self being crucial, just not always easy. Absolutely. And, step one, and an easy step of this, is to practice what we do every Monday morning, but practice it every day, and practice it when you feel you are looking for forgiveness for yourself first. And if your kid came and your kid was beating themselves up because they did poorly in school, for example, you would counsel them to forgive themselves. It's okay, that's fine, I love you. And I think you need to do the same for yourself, is to forgive yourself. So thank you, Joan. Thank you for that comment. If anybody else has any comments, would love to hear from you. Great. Well, wonderful. I don't see any comments coming through. So then I shall say thank you very much for joining me today. I look forward to chatting with you next week. And if there's anything I can do to support you in your journey, give me a shout or send me an email and I'll be able to help you.